So today we have an interesting video of sorts. What we've done is I've ranked the Star Wars movies, all 12 films, from worst to best. And how we've done this is we've given the best movie 12 points, and then the worst one gets 1. And then I asked my friends, Star Wars fan, 9999, Family B, and Steve Harvey's Papa has made a return from our last video. There he is. So yeah, we all ranked them 1 through 12. The best movie got 12 points. Then we combined the scores, and that gave us a average of sorts. And then we also found like the percents, with 48 points being the highest possible points. So we're gonna split this little video up into 2 parts, because I think we're gonna talk at length for each movie. So coming in with the first movie that only received 5 points from the 4 of us is the Clone Wars movie that released in 2008. So I don't think this one's too unexpected. It was kind of low quality, and yeah, it just doesn't hold up to the live actions.
Yeah, if no one had seen the Clone Wars at all, and that was like their first impression of it, they would think like,
yeah, probably not the
why
best.
Does anyone like this?
Best intro. It turned itself around, but yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Damn. Star Wars family.
You know, I don't really agree with giving it like the lowest. I gave the Clone Wars my second to last.
Yeah, 2 points.
But yes, I gave it that ranking because it's like it's kind of bad, but like it's still just kind of like nostalgic for me. And I think it gave like the Clone Wars sort of like a good sort of or maybe not that great, but like, you know, it just kind of like put Clone Wars kind of like on the map before like the actual like first season of the release.
That's interesting the way to look at it.
I get that.
Yeah, Peter or family. Damn.
Well, I honestly don't. I like this. Like I didn't grow up with cable, so I would rent this from the library all the time. So I've watched it a bunch, and I enjoyed watching it. I mean, it's entertaining, but it doesn't really compare to the other Star Wars movies.
Sure.
Honestly.
It can definitely be entertaining. I mean, if you're a fan, then you know.
Yeah. Well, alright then, we're gonna move on to our next 2, with, we actually had the tie for 9th place, with The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker both earning 14 points. So, how do we feel about these 2, and which one do we think is better?
Oof.
Yeah, it's kind of a hard choice. 2 sequel movies right next to each other. I think I personally liked less The Last Jedi. I don't think I exactly liked these 2, but I think The Rise of Skywalker did a little bit better, or less worse, depending how you look at it.
Yeah, the lesser of 2 evils.
I know, right? And yeah, how do you guys feel about it?
Yeah, I definitely think The Last Jedi is worse than The Rise of Skywalker, just because of like the character of Rose Tico. Just like the whole plot with finding that code breaker. You know, like it did have some like cool moments though. Rey and Kylo Ren teaming up to
Yeah, that was cool.
Snoke's Praetorian Guard, but also like, you know, like The Last Jedi just like basically like threw away Snoke too.
Yeah. They had to bring back Palpatine.
In my opinion, that's why it's worse than the Rise of Skywalker.
Now, Steve Harvey's Papa, did you feel otherwise?
Yeah, I think I have the variant opinion on this, but I think and remember, this is like very, very narrow. I hate both of these movies with a burning passion.
Okay.
But I do think that the Last Jedi was a little better.
Okay.
And when I say a little, I mean a little, you know.
Sure.
But I don't know. I feel like and you know what? I was thinking about this earlier. It might have something to do with the fact that The Last Jedi was still building to something that could be good, and that might play a factor into why I, you know, like it more. And the Rise of Skywalker, like, because you know I'm not as into Star Wars as you guys. So when I found out that, like, oh, this is the end of the Skywalker saga, I'm like, what? Like, that's like everything led up to this, and that I think that's what really pissed me off.
Yeah, that's understandable. I don't really think it ended it well. So that's makes sense.
I think that, like, the Rise of Skywalker did do some stuff well. I think, like, the Rey and Kylo stuff was really good. I think the I don't know if this is like a minority opinion, but I think that Leia's death was actually handled well, or at least as well as it could have. You know, considering how characters are passed.
That was a bit of a shame, but I get you there.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think the stuff with Kylo and Rey in The Last Jedi actually made up for the fact that everything else was just such a clusterfuck. And I don't know. I think the fact that The Rise of Skywalker was the end was just, you know, really, really bad.
Okay. So I think moving on from that to our
hold on.
Oh, you got something to say?
We still got someone to speak, AJ.
Well, you know, we gotta keep moving.
I'll try and make this quick because it's not a very popular opinion, but I don't think The Last Jedi is that bad of a movie. It does have flaws. It definitely has flaws. Like Rose was a little bit out of the blue, and just Canto Bight as an entire planet seemed kind of pointless. But the fact that they killed Snoke, like, other people, like, you guys think that they just threw him away, but I feel like he wanted to die. And the fact that the Rise of Skywalker did not even, it was just such lazy writing, they didn't even try and make up for that.
Sure.
Like, he definitely knew he was going to die, and I want to know why he wants to die. Why, like, that, I feel like that would have been an interesting point in the Rise of Skywalker, but they didn't even try and fix it.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, we know he was Palpatine controlled, but yeah, they pulled Palpatine out of their ass for episode 9, so...
Yeah, I think that's another thing that made Rise of Skywalker really bad, was the whole Emperor thing. That really, you know, it was just so corny and so campy.
Yeah, I would have liked to seen Snoke and Palpatine be two guys and see how, like, two powerful Darksiders would interact. I thought that would have been cool, but no, we didn't get that. Alright, so for good, for those Rise of Skywalker Last Jedi,
pretty good.
that earned 14 points out of 48. Now we're going to move on to our number 8th film, which is Attack of the Clones, scoring 15 points. I don't think... Yeah, this one... I think it comes down to the writing. Just the Anakin Padme dialogue was bad, and I think the actors did the best they could. But
I never really blamed the actors, man. Like, because there are good actors in those movies, but it's just, you know... Yeah,
Portman won an Oscar, so...
Yeah, exactly.
She wasn't used to her full potential. And I kind of like the detective movie idea. And I don't know, I kind of like those kind of movies, but... And the clones were cool, we just didn't get enough of them, for me at least.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, if I can look at the list... yeah, the highest it got was 5 points, and got 2 and 3 points. So yeah, how about Attack of the Clones?
I feel like this is probably the worst Star Wars movie, in my opinion, because just because of the bad writing. Like, the action sequences weren't that bad, but I mean, come on, I don't want to hear Anakin weirdly, scarily flirt with Padme. Like, just the fact that he said, "I killed them all. I slaughtered them like animals, and the women and the children too." Like. And she still let him pipe.
Yeah, I like the Robot Chicken adaptation, where she just hopped in her hopped in her ship and bailed. That was great.
Yeah, much more believable.
Yeah, or was that Robot Chicken? It may have been how it should have ended, but I think it was.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I get those confused too.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
I personally think that, I mean, this is my opinion, but like, besides the but like, this is kind of moving ahead, but besides like Duel of the Fates and the Phantom Menace, I hate everything about that movie, and I think that's worse than Attack of the Clones personally. But
that's right. Papa, you gave Attack of the Clones 3, and Phantom Menace 2. So okay.
So I think I was like Clone Wars 1 and then Phantom Menace and then Attack of the Clones.
Okay, that's fair. So, Star Wars, you got anything to say about Attack of the Clones?
Yeah, well, it's not like the worst Star Wars movie for me, but I think The Last Jedi never started for me.
Okay.
But it's definitely the worst of the prequels.
Yeah,
Well, I totally get that.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, so if we're moving on to our number 7th film, we just briefly mentioned it. It was Phantom Menace, scoring a combined 18 points out of 48. Now, I think I like Phantom Menace. I actually kind of rated it high. I gave it 7 points, which is right in the middle. I think there's a few redeeming qualities. Darth Maul and Ray Park. God, I think Duel of the Fates is the best duel for me. I mean, just what an amazing opening, and I thought the pod race was cool, and Liam Neeson was great to see. But I think the Anakin stuff, and maybe the slower nature. And maybe like the whole politics side with like trade disputes. Maybe that kind of rubbed people the wrong way. I think Anakin was the biggest offender for this, though. Yeah. Maybe Jar Jar too.
Oh,
Again,
Jar Jar.
I think the actors did the best because all the shit Ahmad Best got was wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think this is actually Natalie Portman's worst like movie in this franchise. Like she sounds like she's like been like hopped up on like prescription drugs.
Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah, the Queen Amidala stuff, where she's just very like monotone, you know.
Yeah, she's like, oh, I'm Queen Amidala. This was my decoy or whatever, and she's saying it with like no emotion or no change of face at all. It's like, good lord, like she's like hopped up on ketamine or something. But,
not Yoda though.
Yeah, right.
Star Wars family.
I mean, there's really not much to say about this movie. I like Duel of the Fates.
Yeah.
I thought it was the midichlorians was probably the biggest.
That's another thing.
Bother for me. But other than that, it's not really that good or that bad.
Sure.
It's just kind of in the middle.
Okay. Yeah, and another thing I think that redeemed it, the set pieces were amazing. They like filmed the castle in Italy, or like the palace for the Naboo Theed Palace. And then I also played a video game, The Battle of Naboo on the N64. And they literally made a video game out of that one cutscene. And I don't know if you remember, but like the Naboo speeders come back when they're forming the plan to attack the palace. They literally made a whole video game out of that, and I love that video game and have a lot of good memories. So I think that enhances it a bit for me too. But
that's fair. I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a cool game. I liked it. So are we all good for Phantom Menace? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I just really like the music all throughout the prequels.
The music has always been really great.
Yeah, John Williams.
Yeah, John Williams, like, I think it's even better than like what was like in the original trilogy, at least for me.
Yeah, I get that, because it's still the same composer and everything. So.
But
he hasn't made a bad score. So.
Yeah, Phantom.
But I don't really agree with like giving like the Duel of the Fates like the best. I think it's the Anakin versus Obi-Wan.
Yeah, Battle of the Heroes. That's a good one. Twin Suns is my favorite.
I feel like Duel of the Fates, like without all the extended universe knowledge and Clone Wars stuff, and the duel on its own is not very, not very impactful, because Darth Maul doesn't really get much development in the movie itself.
Yeah, but I just think like for a new lightsaber combat style, it was groundbreaking. Like no one's ever seen that.
The choreography and all that was.
I just think
really
that's
good.
so impactful for the franchise. That's why I hold it in such high regard.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, it was. They used Duel of the Fates on a lot of other themes too, so I know what you mean by that.
Yeah, totally.
Damn. Okay, we all good for Phantom Menace?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, and then for the end of this video, in our number 6 Star Wars film, is actually Solo with 24 points. That's like exactly right in the middle of 48. So I kind of feel Solo It was a fun Star Wars adventure. I mean, I don't think it did anything too wrong, but I'm just not sure a lot of people are interested, like, in the Han Solo idea, because it was so diverted from the, like, mainline Skywalker stuff. So I kind of think that may have sullied the opinion of it, but how do you guys feel about Solo?
Well, I've actually gone back and forth. I used to like really, really hate it, and then I'm like, oh, it's okay. And then I hated it again, and I'm like, you know, it's fine.
Okay.
But yeah, right now I'm like, it's all right. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's not really something that needed to be made or anything.
We got it. Yeah.
It's kind of a pointless story, really, and it like sets up stuff and like, oh, like Solo Part 2 or whatever, and it's kind of like, oh god,
Yeah.
really? And yeah, it was just kind of embarrassing.
Okay, Star Wars?
Yeah, it's a story that didn't really exactly needed to be told. Kind of the same with like Rogue One. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, that's a little different, I think.
Yeah, but it's like I kind of just like it because it, you know, it's kind of like the, you know, the classic sort of heist movie, right?
Mm-hmm. Those are always fun.
Yeah, and I also like how we get to see more of like the Imperial Army
Mm-hmm.
inbound. That scene to me is pretty cool. But I guess like what is like kind of like a big problem with me is like the cinematography and how it was shot, because it's
Yeah,
like
yes.
really dark.
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely.
that's right.
Dark as in like you cannot see.
completely
like,
agree.
Like,
yeah,
physically
like, you cannot see what's
lighting.
going on.
Yeah, Mimban
Yeah.
was pretty hard to see, and like the Chewie. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
it was pretty poorly lit. Maybe not too much contrast, not enough. You know. I can see what you mean by that.
Yeah, those are my thoughts on that. Yeah.
Okay, family.
I actually liked this movie. Like I really liked Tobias Beckett as a character. I
Yeah,
thought
Woody.
he did. It kind of introduced how Han became like the shooting first guy, how he learned to shoot first. But I've talked about this with my other friend before. He and I both agree that like it kind of tries to fit all of Han Solo's previous like backstories all into one
Yeah,
movie.
you said that.
Like the Castle Run, meeting Chewie,
The card
getting
game.
his name.
Sabak,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, it's winning the Falcon against Lando, like that.
Yeah.
It all just kind of blends together. It feels
Yeah,
like there's
perhaps
really
a
not
bit
much
fan
more of a story to
servicey.
tell. Mhm.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, there was a lot of pre-established lore on Han Solo, and they definitely made sure they hit all those boxes. So I could see how you could... Yeah, that makes sense.
And then one thing I do like how this movie did was
Hello?
Lando. I thought he was
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, Donnie
Donald
did...
Glover did
yeah,
a
he
great
was,
job.
He was cool, so...
Yeah. I thought they did him
check.
justice. So.
Well, are we good for Solo?
I think so.
Alright, with that, that wraps up part 1 of our Star Wars ranking, and yeah, see you for the next final 6 films.